I love Wait, no, I already started my last video like that. Go watch it, by the way. But seriously, Animal Crossing is my favorite series of all time. I've played every single one, and I have good things to say about each and every one of them. That's not counting Amiibo Festival, because that's not really a game. It's just a torture mechanism. If I was sentenced to the Brazen Bull or Amiibo Festival, I'd choose the Brazen Bull with no hesitation. But disregarding that abomination, oh my god, dude. That was such a bad joke, but I can't help but laugh. That was kind of funny. You have to admit that was kind of funny. Terrible jokes aside, the Animal Crossing series just has so much to love about it. But I'm in a bad mood and I feel like complaining. So today, I'm going to be talking about the worst aspects of each Animal Crossing game. Since there's only 5 of these games, I'm going to talk about multiple bad things for each. Also, I'm not going to be talking about any spin-offs or DLC because, they're boring. I mean, I guess that's one bad thing, so I technically did talk about them. Just be aware I'm putting that in my thumbnail for clickbait. But now that we've got all that figured out, let's get into this. I just realized, why is that intro so long? Nobody's gonna watch this video. Animal Crossing Gamecube does not respect your time, and I love it. This game doesn't care about your feelings. If you're feeling a bit insecure today, this game will remind you that you look like a cockroach. If you get bullied at school, this game will laugh in your face and call you weak. If you lose everything in a fire, this game will mock you. It just doesn't care, and that's part of why it's so chill. I don't care that this game has so many pointless and tedious mechanics, because who cares? This game sure doesn't, so why should you? And ultimately, that's the Animal Crossing lifestyle I follow. But there's one thing that I can't forgive, and that's having to individually mail fossils to the museum every time you want to donate one. This isn't just a tedious task, this is a war crime. They designed this mechanic like we're working in a sweatshop. Plus, Blathers is right there in the museum entrance. Just let me give them to you. I know a lot of people complain about how chatty Blathers is nowadays, but your gosh darn spoiled generation would never understand the hardship we had to go through. You probably don't even know who Brutus is. I act like I didn't first play this game in 2022. I also hate how easily a villager will move out when they talk to one of your friends who are visiting. I mean, I couldn't relate because I have no friends, but I'm a very sympathetic person. I've seen people on YouTube experience this, and all they could do was watch their villager leave as their friend stole them. They just left you and their whole life behind just to go with somebody that they've only met one time. Those are some fake ass villagers, and me personally, I would not take that. That's why I personally turn my town into a totalitarian, militaristic government that has no contact with the outside world. It's one nation under, Pixa, is what I would say if I could customize my town here. I have no power. I'm low-class scum. But in all seriousness, I don't see the lack of customization in this game compared to the others as a bad thing. I felt that the game still had a lot of room to be customized to your liking. Plus, the life aspect of it really does make up for that. But I'm still going to put it here as a bad thing because I know a lot of people don't like it and it kind of turns them off from this game. Which I totally understand. One thing that I don't understand though, is forced villager trades. Now periodically, a villager will come up to you and ask you to trade an item with them. But sometimes, you just can't refuse the offer. It can be some garbage trade too, like they could be trading a coelacanth for a trash bin. So you just gave up your hard-earned coelacanth for something that they probably bought for like 5 bells. It's not even a game thing either, cause they know what they're doing. Their dialogue is nasty. I shouldn't even be calling it a forced trade. Let's just call it what it really is. Robbery. You're a criminal. I swear to God, I hope Copper and Booker get on your ass or I'm gonna have to partake in some vigilante justice. I also really hate the acre mechanic when it comes to trees. In this game, there's basically a mechanic where trees can't be placed in certain parts of an acre just being a part of your town. And if you do try to place them, they'll just die after like a day. And there's no way to see where you should and shouldn't plant a tree, so it's just basically luck of the draw. Which I really hate because I'll get a new fruit that's not exclusive to my town and have it die the next day because I planted it a little too much to the left. I'm so glad that stopped. But I think I'm done talking about this game. Let's move on to our next victim, Wild World. Oh yeah, also in this game you can't see the sky, so that's also a bad thing. I forgot about that.
I'm just gonna get it out of the way now.
Easily the worst part of this game is the lack of holidays.
I mean, yeah, they have those made up holidays like Yay Day and the Acorn Festival, but they're lame and they just get really boring after like the second time you see them.
And they don't even feel special. They don't feel like holidays. They feel like just more like events that happen like once or twice a month. Just something to be kind of glossed over. And these holidays, I'm doing air quotes, these holidays, they're just so shallow. I just never participate in them because they're just boring. I know why they did it, but it just kind of brings this game down. I don't really have much to look forward to when a new holiday comes around. I also absolutely despise the flower wilting mechanic. Whoever came up with this mechanic must be a sociopath. There's no way a healthy human being made this. You know, flowers are a huge thing in Animal Crossing. I mean, I love flowers. I plant them in every single game. Now tell me why I have to water them every single day just for the small chance that they don't drop dead. Do I look like I have the time for that? Plus it gives you zero indication of whether you watered them beforehand on that day. So you'll just be watering the same flowers over and over again, not knowing if you already watered them earlier. Despicable game design. Absolutely despicable. Also, why did you guys remove some of these old villagers too? Come on, these guys were cool. I love these guys. They're awesome. Ace was a real one. They just done got rid of him. But this game's a masterpiece, and I hardly have anything bad to say about this game. So let's move on to something that's way more easy to nitpick. City folk. I said that weird. Despite my qualms with this game, City Folk is still my second favorite one. But this video isn't about the best things about every Animal Crossing game, so no mercy from me. Although if you want to see that vid, just, comment, just tell me. My biggest issue with this game is how much of a copy-paste it feels from Wild World. They just hit Control-C, Control-Z, and boom. City Folk. Wild World with more features and better graphics, baby. No wonder it sold so poorly. Another contributing factor to low sales is probably stupid grass decay. Now if you run in a certain area frequently and consistently enough, the grass will start to decay over time. And let me tell you, it looks ugly as sin. Literally nobody wants this. Unlike wilting flowers though, which are still in this game by the way, I can kind of see what they were trying to do here. It's meant to act as sort of a natural path, but instead it just looks ugly. It looks like my hairline. Oh yeah, and the villagers got way more boring compared to the last game. And the villagers last game had more backstories than a One Piece villain. Now they're just NPCs. Like just literally just NPCs. They're the type of people to comment on Instagram posts with sparkling hearts. What happened to my villagers with flavor? Now they all have the personality of unseasoned chicken. Unlike Wild World when I was itching to talk to them every single minute, here I'll only do it because I felt obligated to. I just kind of forced myself to talk to them because they were so boring. And as all Animal Crossing fans know, this problem will only get worse the more the series progressed. But my biggest issue with this game is the controls. Now I play this game on the Steam Deck, so none of this really affects me, but I still want to talk about it anyway because it sucks so much. Those poor souls who had to play this game on the Wii, I feel for you, man. I'm so sorry. In this game, they basically just made the controls point and click, which doesn't sound bad, but gets extremely annoying after a while. Just imagine, you get home from a long day of work, you just want to play some Animal Crossing to relax, only to remember you have to point your Wii remote at the screen every time you want to move around. It gets really annoying after a while, especially if you're tired. Thank God the emulated version lets you use an analog stick. But yeah, I'm getting bored of City Folk. Let's talk about my favorite Animal Crossing game, New Leaf. New Leaf is my favorite one, but I also have a lot of problems with it. I should do a quick fire round to get all the small stuff out of the way first. Villagers are still boring. Flowers will wilt unless you have an ordinance that stops them from doing so. Grass decay is still a thing for some reason. And balloon furniture is god-awful. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the stuff that I really don't like about this game. Okay, so first I'm gonna talk about I don't know. Yeah, there's not really anything I don't like about this game that's not minor. This game is a masterpiece and I could gush about it for hours. So yeah, not much bad comes to mind. But let me tell you, to make up for this section, I have a lot to say about the next game. And that's New Horizons. Strap in, boys. This one's gonna be a doozy. New Horizons was my most anticipated game of all time. There would be countless days where I wouldn't sleep due to my excitement, and it helped me through a really tough time when it did come out. But man, my initial excitement wore off after about 200 hours. I started seeing the flaws of this game left and right. I've never felt burnt out playing an Animal Crossing game. This game is an exception. For one, the base game was absolutely barren. If I wasn't blinded by my initial excitement, I would have realized how little content the game had at launch. It probably had less content than Wild World, or even Gamecube. And the constant updates were really fun at first, but eventually people started getting really frustrated, including me. And by the time 2.0 came out, I was long done with this game and migrated back to New Leaf. So I can't really comment on how much better or worse the game got after that update. But the update model, at least in my opinion, just really brings this game down. But you wanna know what else brought me down? The villagers. They're so extremely, disgustingly sanitized, it's insane. Now when I say I want meaner villagers, I don't mean I want them to jump you in a back alley and steal all of your money, but I want more than this Nick Jr. dialogue. At least in New Leaf and City Folk, there's still some personality to be seen. You could still form good relationships, and even rivalries with other villagers. But in Horizons, they're just glazing you 24/7, as if you're some mean dictator and saying anything slightly negative will get them sent to the gulags. I don't want to talk to you. You're boring. Oh, Pixa, that's a nice outfit. Lady, I'm wearing a ramen noodle t-shirt. Stop lying to my face. They're just so fake now. That's probably why so many people value their looks over anything else. Oh yeah, another thing. The music in this game doesn't even come close to anything in the previous games. I know it's meant to be different, but it just doesn't hit the same. It's just not it. In the older games, I would stop for minutes at a time just to listen to the gorgeous music. Here, the music makes me genuinely tired just listening to it. And don't get me wrong, not all of it is bad. I'd say 50% of it is really good, 65% of it is okay, and the rest of the 20% is just unbearable. Like the 3 AM song should be considered an actual crime against humanity. Just take a listen, just listen. You'll trust me, you'll know. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, and another thing, tool breaking becomes such a burden after a while. Like, I really do not like that mechanic. It actively discourages you from using your tool. And recrafting tools after they break is just such a huge pain. Even crazier is golden tools break too. The whole point of golden tools is that they were special. Now they're just glorified regular tools that have more durability. Honestly, durability was a huge mistake. But you know what else was a mistake? This game's online features. So, I have a story for you guys. When I first got this game on launch day, I had a little party inviting other people to my island. And I was only expecting a few people to show up, but 8 people showed up within the span of 5 minutes, and let me tell you, it was hell. Every time someone would join, we'd have to deal with a 1-minute loading screen, and then another arrival screen. It was unbearable. I can understand it in the older games, even though it was a pain, but with New Horizons, it was unacceptable. I mean, this game came out in 2020, and to be honest, I do have a lot of bad things to say about this game. But if I kept going, it'd be like 2 hours long, so I think I'm gonna end it here. New Horizons was a mistake. Still a pretty good game though. 7 out of 10. I think we're done here. Those were, at least in my opinion, the worst aspects of every single mainline Animal Crossing game. Now, despite me being pretty negative in this video, Animal Crossing is my favorite series of all time, and I love it wholeheartedly. Ever since I started YouTube, I've been wanting to make a video on Animal Crossing, and I'm so glad I'm here now, being able to do it. I'm so glad I have such a loyal following, even though it seems small. Just 100 people is kind of crazy to me. Just imagine a room full of 100 people. I'm just so grateful for you guys. This video took a really long time to make, so I'd appreciate liking and subscribing, and until then, peace out.